The Macau GT Cup here on the streets of Macau, the 6-kilometre gear circuit here at Macau, and wonderful GT3 machinery. Pit lane is going to close for the GT cars, so they will line up on the grid very soon because it closes in 4.5 minutes here at Macau. David is down there on the grid to hopefully have a chat to maybe a few drivers, maybe a few connections of the teams down there on the grid ahead of our qualification race over 12 laps. It's our longest race today, along with the motorcycle race that kicked action off this morning, and they will have a 16-lap race tomorrow for the Macau GT Cup. This, the qualification race, the cars are beginning to thread their way down through onto the grid, and that's a view of the skyline here at Macau with more traditional weather this weekend. Beautiful sunshine and a very, very full crowd here at Macau, who have already been treated to some world-class action around the streets of Macau. And you know what, for quite a few years, many people have come away from the Macau Grand Prix and said that the GT3 race, the Macau GT Cup, the FIA GT World Cup, has been one of their favourites of the weekend. And why not? It's mouth-watering machinery, it's GT3 machinery, which is absolutely supreme around the streets of Macau. Not just to look at, to marvel at how they control these big GT cars around the confines of the gear circuit here at Macau, but also with world-class drivers at the wheel, and the sound of the cars echoing from the barriers from either side of the circuit. We are in for a 12-lap treat. Ferrari have locked out the front row of the grid for our qualification race, with Antonio Fuoco and Yifi on the front row of the grid, and Porsche and Audi form up the second row of the grid, with Alessio Picariello and Joel Eriksson on the second row of the grid. We can see the cars down on the grid. Let's hear from the drivers down there on the grid. David Addison.
Welcome to the grid, everybody. Welcome to the qualifying race for the FIA GT Cup. It is a quality entry. One thing that we don't have this year are the Mercedes AMGs, but we have a very strong Ferrari presence that locks out the front row of the grid. We also have a very strong Porsche presence on the grid, and one of those fancied Porsches, Laurens Vanthoor's car, had a big accident in free practice on Thursday. That was FP1. He was quickest at the time of the crash. Missed FP2. They virtually had to rebuild the car, put a new engine in it, and that's rather put Laurens Vanthoor on the back foot. So he's got work to do in this race. Now, let's go for a quick walk and see who we can find, because one of the drivers that was a real star last year, and we'll go this way, was Antonio Fuoco. He managed to battle his way into the lead of the race, and at the moment I think it's all eyes forward for Antonio. It doesn't look as though, sadly, we're going to get much of an opportunity to dive into the pole-sitting Ferrari. Yifi, Le Mans winner, is on his outside, but if I head down towards Porsche, let's go this way. Alessio Picariello is a champion already this year in GT World Challenge Europe Endurance, and just before you jump into the car, good qualifying yesterday, third. You can make progress from here, Alessio.
Yeah, I mean, car feels good. I did a small mistake in quali, so yeah, I think one position more would have been possible, but for sure the Ferrari are strong. I guess the guys just behind me are also very strong, but yeah, I'm confident in my package. I felt good since the beginning of the weekend, so yeah, let's see what we can do today.
Is this a race about keeping out of trouble, or is this a race that you want to win to be on the front row tomorrow, or a bit of both?
It really depends on the start. If I have a good start, for sure I will go for it. Otherwise, I will try to keep my position and try again tomorrow. I will need to see the scenario, and then we will see. But for sure, if you finish in front, it's always helpful.
Fantastic. Good luck, Alessio. Lots of Porsche fans here at Macau. Right, let's keep walking, because all of these cars run to the regulation set of GT3, which was introduced by the Stefan Rattel Motorsports Group many years ago. And Stefan is on the grid. And once I can interrupt him. Yeah. Stefan, here we are again, Macau, a fabulous circuit, a brilliant grid, and a big smile on your face. You can't wait for this race.
Oh, I love it here. You know, I will never miss Macau. It's, you know, it's uncompromising. It's the best drivers. It's just fabulous. And yeah, we can see it was very, very close. Congratulations, by the way, to the FIA technical department for a very close VOP, and that's going to provide fantastic racing.
It's almost, though, the antithesis, the opposite of what we normally have in GT racing. It's one driver and it's a sprint.
Yes, I mean, it also exists, you know, in the DTM in Germany, but in the SRO world, it's the unique one, and it makes it very special for us.
Stefan, well done. Let's go and enjoy the race. Let's go back this way, because one of the real surprises has been how well Audi have gone this weekend. Joel Eriksson, who's raced here in single-seaters, he's raced here in GT cars. Joel, can I just very quickly interrupt you? Brilliant job yesterday. How did it go, and were you a bit disappointed with Q2?
Yeah, I mean, it was way over expectation, what we expected, so yeah, pretty happy with the P4 start here today. Obviously, Q1 was a little bit stronger for us. The Super Pole doesn't really fit the Audi car because we are struggling a bit to get the fronts in, so didn't have the grip at the front axle as I wanted on my lap, so yeah, lost a bit in the beginning of the lap, and then yeah, felt good on the end of the lap obviously, but yeah, put us on P4, so yeah, it's a good spot for the race.
Good luck for today. Joel Eriksson, one of our two Phantom Global Racing Audi drivers. Right, let's see who else we might be able to find. Anshin Guven's Porsche. He's not opening his door, he's a bit locked in. What about, I've lost my cameraman now, Raffaele Marciello. Got a bit quick there. If I thread my way round this way, Raffaele Marciello is another driver who's got a great pedigree at Macau. Lello, all eyes forward. What are the chances of getting ahead of those Ferraris now?
Not easy, they were very, very quick, but yeah, let's see if I can jump one row today, and yeah, I need to jump another row tomorrow, and then first, yeah, let's see, it will not be easy, but I will try something, let's see.
BMW always looks good around here in that first sector all the way down to Lisboa. That's where many places can be gained, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it's not only straight the track, there are also many corners in the mountain, and we are not very strong there. But yeah, luckily before the start is a long straight, so yeah, let's see what I can do.
Raffaele, good luck. The BMW then, run out of the Rover Racing stable, will be a force to be reckoned with. Right, let's see where else we might be able to go. Eduardo Mortara, who should have been second on the grid, is a little bit further back on the grid, but we'll see if we can go that far, because it would be nice to try and get one or two other manufacturers. If I can't get to Edo Mortara, I might be able to get Luca Engschler. Now, Luca last year, you might remember, had a monster accident, and when he joined us on the grid, it wasn't as a driver, it was on crutches, and it took him a month or two to recover out of that. Stuart Murray from the FIA talking to the Engschler family. Do I go dad or lad? Let's start with Luca. Last time we spoke on this grid, you were all strapped up, hobbling. Now you are a 24-hour winner at Spa and looking forward to a good race after a great season.
I hope, no? I mean, yeah, it was obviously a good qualifying. Very happy to be here again after last year. Missed a bit of confidence in the beginning, but now, yeah, on pace and feeling good.
The Lamborghinis have had an up and down kind of weekend, struggled on Thursday, better yesterday.
Yeah, we started obviously, yeah, difficult, been 3 seconds off the pace, and now we are, let's say, constantly moving up, but still a lot of work to do for us as a group, but I think we're getting there.
Excellent. Good luck. Good to see you looking so fit and well as well, Luca. Well done on a great season. As I say, winner of the CrowdStrike 24 Hours of Spa a few months back. Christopher Haas's Audi is next on the grid. Let's try Edo Mortara. He got his better lap time yesterday taken off him for the car over-speeding, overpowering. Let's see if we can grab a quick word. Edo, not where you wanted to be on the grid, but all your Macau knowledge comes into play right now, yeah?
Well, we got our lap taken away in quali in Super Pole, so we were supposed to start third. Unfortunately, this didn't go well. But anyway, starting from 10, we will try to do our best. And firstly, it's a qualification race, so hopefully trying to finish this one will be already good.
Good luck. We'll see how you get on. Eduardo Mortara's Lamborghini then, as he says, having his better lap time taken off him. It was a 2-lap Super Pole. Let's go this way and see if we've got time for one more before we need to jump off the grid. And it's Christopher Haase, the Audi driver, who we haven't seen very much of in GT World Challenge Europe. He's been off busy in International GT Open. Nice to see you again. It's been a season we haven't seen too much of you, but here you are in a good competitive car as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I start from P9, so definitely a bit more difficult. But you know, in Macau, everything is possible.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's hope for a good race start, and maybe I have the chance to gain some position.
Have you done a count at any point of how many races you've now done for Audi, especially in an R8? It must be in the thousands, Christopher.
Well, absolutely, but I never counted. Maybe I should.
Well, have a good one in this race. Christopher Hauser then in the Audi. Right, the grid is about to be cleared, so enjoy this qualification race for the FIA GT Cup. It promises to be an absolute belter.
Super grid walk from David. Thank you very much indeed. Heard from many of the drivers down there in the thick of it with all of the personnel that are down there, not only the journalists, but also all the teams are just being led off the grid, and confirmation of the grid that will line up for the start of this race. Antonio Farocco and Yeyifi on the front row of the grid. Two Ferraris lock out the front row. Alessio Picariello and Joel Eriksson. Heard from Joel down on the grid. A little disappointed with Q2 yesterday, the Super Pole shootout, but very, very happy to top the times in Q1. Raffaele Marciello, heard from him, and A.E. Guven on the third row of the grid, our DTM champion for this year, in a very, very impressive looking platinum coloured Porsche on the outside of the third row of the grid. Lauren Heinrich and Luca Engstler, just heard from Luca, standing by the side of the car, getting as much air as possible before the start of this race, and that's with very good reason, standing with his father, also of course a very, very accomplished racing driver over the years, Franz Engstler, and Luca looking much, much better and going really well as well. Christopher Hauser and Eduardo Mortara on the next row of the grid, and Lawrence Van Tour, the recovering Lawrence Van Tour from that huge accident the other day, lines up on the sixth row of the grid alongside Benjamin Goethe, Adley Fong and Dorian Boccolacci on the next row of the grid. On the final row of the grid, Yi Deng and Sheldon van der Linde on the final row of the grid. That's how the grid is going to line up for this qualification race. It's going to be 12 laps around the gear circuit, and that is your Ferrari sitting on pole position. Antonio Farocco, absolutely delighted after qualifying yesterday and staying long into the evening, signing autographs and doing photographs and meeting the fans after qualifying yesterday, but very, very happy. Briefly led, did the Ferrari at Macau last year, but it didn't last very long. In fact, it didn't last a full lap, but the number 50 Ferrari lines up on pole position alongside a Le Mans winner. That is the 911 car, the blue Porsche of Alessio Picariello on the second row of the grid, the inside of the second row of the grid. What can we expect from the Porsche on the second row? And a real mix of manufacturers at the front as well, because he lines up alongside the Audi of Joel Eriksson on the outside of row 2. Joel Eriksson just putting his gloves on, getting himself ready, and more than a nod to Valentino Rossi with the colours on the helmet and also the 46 number on the car as well for Joel Eriksson. And Raffaele Marciello in car number 53, a former winner here at Macau. He excelled in single-seaters in the Macau Grand Prix and also has excelled in the FIA GT World Cup here at Macau. Guven, who is a champion, DTM champion, Turkish driver, lines up sixth on the grid. And we've decided that very definitely as a platinum driver, that's a platinum livery on Guven's Porsche. And then Lauren Heinrich on the next row of the grid. The fourth row on the inside of the fourth row of the grid will be next, with Raffaele Marciello getting himself ready. He is the coolest and calmest of characters. David has just spoken to him down on the grid, and he's so laid back in the approach to the start of one of these races. But I tell you what, when the lights go out and the race gets underway, he is far from cool and calm and collected. He's one of the quickest out there, is Raffaele Marciello, and also making comment to David down there about the BMW being very, very good on the quick first section of the circuit. Goes purple, goes overall best in the first sector, time after time after time. David's back in the cockpit. I'm going to give you a moment to recover. You okay?
I'm an athlete.
Your recovery time is ever so good, isn't it? My goodness. Right, this is going to be a thriller. By the way, masterclass in grid walk. I don't know how many drivers you spoke to, but it was at least half a dozen, so well done.
And can I apologise to the lady that's on the fourth step of the first flight of stairs who is upside down? I was coming through.
She's already written in.
That marvellous. I do apologise. It was elbows out. I thought I was in a touring car. It's going to be a great race, this. What Alessio Picariello was saying really is, though, what they've all got to make a call on. Do they want to try and force a way forward for tomorrow? or keep out of trouble and make sure they're on a half-decent grid position. And that's all fine until those lights change. And then you remember they're racing drivers.
I would go for the latter. I would go for a nice grid position. We've already seen today around the streets of Macau that anything can happen. You can almost be within sight of the checkered flag, and you've got less than a lap to do, and things can go wrong when you are almost assured of a front row start, and then all of a sudden you're going to be starting at the back. So take it easy, if you can do in a GT3 car. What was it? Christopher Haase said, I made a little note of it, in Macau anything is possible.
It's true.
I think we'll go with that.
Absolutely, absolutely. It should actually be the tagline of the event, shouldn't it? It really should. Christopher Haase, who attempts fate a little bit by saying this, you could construct an argument to say he is no longer the outright fastest GT racer, but he is one of the most experienced and one of the safest pairs of hands. I asked Christopher on the grid how many races he's done for Audi. He's still counting. I can't claim I've seen all of them. I've seen a few of them. But Christopher Haase making mistakes is very, very rare indeed. And if anybody will know how to survive a race around here, he is that person. And so it's no surprise to see him making progress.
Let's have a quick review of a few of the drivers he spoke to. Raffaele Marciello, as ever, the coolest and calmest of characters down there on the grid.
Oh, he claims he was born in Italy. He can't be to be that laid back. I mean, he is just almost horizontal. He was sitting in the car, feet nowhere near the pedals, just, you know, sitting there thinking about whatever, waiting. He's unflappable, he really is. And boy, can he drive a racing car. And it doesn't matter whether he's, and Lawrence Vanthoor on this grid is another example, or Antonio Fuoco and Ye Fei. It doesn't matter if they're leaping from a hypercar for WEC into a GT3 car for here or any of the GT3 championships. They just do it. They can do it because they're star drivers.
Eduardo Mortara, naturally, not that happy about being further down on the grid than he might have thought.
Yeah, but that's not down to him. It's down to the fact that the car was found to have overpowered. The frustration was the lap that was taken off him was the better of the two. So that has gone against him, most definitely.
It's intense looking back at Eduardo Mortara, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And he is a very focused driver. We've been saying over the course of the weekend that we would still refer to him as Mr. Macau. Well, the last win here is quite a long time ago now, so he'll be eager to try to rekindle that reputation.
But he's got the reputation and the waxwork model as well in the Grand Prix Museum here at Macau, and there aren't many drivers or riders that can claim that as a title here in Macau, and you only get that if you have won an exceptional number of races around the streets of Macau. One of them is Rob Huff in touring cars, and another one is Michael Rutter on a motorcycle. Eduardo Mortara, one of those Madame Tussauds waxworks in the quite excellent local Grand Prix Museum. Right, they thread their way around the Melco hairpin. They will be getting themselves ready for 12 laps around the gear circuit here at Macau. And as Christopher Haase quite rightly said, in Macau, anything is possible.
So it is going to be an all-Ferrari front row. Antonio Fuoco versus Ye Fei at the very back. One to watch. We've not really touched on this too much, but Sheldon van der Linde's BMW, which crashed before he was able to do anything at all in Q1, is going to be charging its way through. So also Lawrence Vanthoor. You've got McLaren representation. Just see in the background the car run by Optimum. It is Benji Goethe at the wheel, and it's running in a sort of nod to the 1997 FIA GT colour scheme. With Gulf colouring. The red Ferrari is Antonio Fuoco's. The white Ferrari is that of Ye Fei. The first of the Porsches on the grid, Alessio Picariello's car. Alongside it is going to be Joel Eriksson in the Audi, and then the BMW of Raffaele Marciello starts fifth, but I bet it's not going to be fifth at Lisboa. Here we go then. The qualification race is 12 laps long. The Macau GT Cup, the FIA GT World Cup is go. And a great start by Fuoco. And already up the inside goes Marciello to try to sort out Joel Eriksson as Anshin Gurman's Porsche goes to the outside line. Marciello's up to fourth. He has a little snap of oversteer, but he saves it. Fuoco leads. Ye Fei in second place. Picariello is all over him like a cheap suit as they come up towards Mandarin. Picariello's going to try the outside line. No, you don't, said Ye Fei, and he sticks out his elbows. Fuoco is away and gone by a length. Here comes Marciello up the outside. He's picked off the Porsche. He's going to get past Yeyife as well. Fifth, he started second. He is on the outside line, but Ye fights back. Marciello is going to be down to third. He's going to be down to fourth, though. Picariello gets through as well. Up the escape road goes one, goes two. Hauser in the barriers. I said he didn't make many mistakes, and he's proved me a liar. That is Christopher Hauser. Drama at Lisboa.
There is always drama at Lisboa, and he finds reverse as well. So that is very, very good news, because that means we don't need an interruption to this race, because what an absolutely thrilling run that was down towards Lisboa. And Raffaele Marciello proving that you can be a hero, and then there's no room to make that work. So back down in fourth place, but a very, very good start by the BMW driver.
Let's have another look at that run to Lisboa. So Marciello using all of the grunt of the BMW, but he's on the wrong line. So he has to break that fraction earlier. Yeyife breaks late, and Picariello, great opportunistic move that followed him through. Now that was, I think, Mortara going up the escape road. And look, Van der Linde getting involved. That was a delayed fan tour. Hauser in the barriers. Benji Goethes' McLaren was involved in all of that as well.
Van der Linde was in trouble yesterday in qualifying, and that's why he started so far down on the grid. Had already showed really good pace around the streets of Macau up until yesterday, but came to grief down at Moorish Corner, and we thought the car had only made a very slight glance of the barrier, but I think it was more than that. It required a lift back to the paddock, and that is why the former DTM champion started so far down in the BMW.
Indeed so, and that drama at Lisboa has not really helped the case. Let's have another look at the start. This is on board with Eduardo Mortara. That's Laurin Heinrich's goal Porsche ahead, and Heinrich goes to the outside line. So what does Mortara do? He flicks through Mandarin, goes to the outside, and closes up on the back. Look at the air moving the wiper then. The air pressure lifts the wiper. He's now on the outside. He's committed, 3 wide into the corner, tries to slow it down, but ends up going up the escape road.
Huge amount of experience around the streets of Macau, and a huge amount of victories as well for Eduardo Mortara, and a super qualifying as well. Like you say, absolutely nothing to do with Eduardo Mortara. He found himself a little bit lower down on the grid than he would have hoped. But a huge amount of experience as far as racecraft is concerned. Right, Raffaele Marciello once again in the Rover BMW going to Lisboa around the right-hander. You can see the Porsche in front. They turn through San Francisco. Now they climb up through the narrow part of the circuit, through the demanding and twisty and barrier-ridden and wall-ridden part of the circuit here at Macau. And goodness me, in a GT3 car, they just close in.
Yeah, the walls sort of loom over you and get ever closer. You can almost feel the cars breathe in at certain points. Fuoco leads Yeyife, and then Alessio Picariello being chased by this man, Raffaele Marciello, who again did the absolute best first sector in that BMW-friendly run to Lisboa. It's Joel Eriksson fifth, it's Guven from Enschler from Heinrich, then Andy Deng, and in 10th place was Adley Fong, but he's dropped back a little bit. This is the end of the Eduardo Mortara Lisboa arrival, and he just can't get the car slowed down in time, and eventually has to skip up the escape road. And you see in the rear view mirror there the accident around him happening. You saw a backward McLaren, that was the Benji Goethes car arriving, so Mortara luckily didn't get collected. Right, up front I think Fuoco is getting away, but Picariello is crawling all over the Yeyife Ferrari.
You're right that Antonio Fuoco is pulling away at the end of that last lap. 1.7 seconds the advantage over Yeyife, the Le Mans winner. They're pushing each other around the Melco hairpin, aren't they? So close together as they thread their way around in single file. Can we just hear the noise? Absolutely glorious noise from this machinery around the streets of Macau. And you know, something that happens that's unique to this circuit, the barriers, they echo the sound of those engines and they bounce off each other into the grandstands. They're absolutely thrilling stuff, this is.
Antonio Fuoco, fastest lap of the race, and he's long gone. He's out in front, he's checked out. Yeyife versus Picariello versus Marciello come next. Eriksson's Audi is fifth, Anshin Guven in the Porsche is sixth. You're looking back, though, there from Yeyife, and behind is Picariello and Raffaele Marciello. Fourth in the BMW, now tries to plan that move. He's on the outside, going into Mandarin. There isn't a BMW's width there, but there certainly is on the run to Lisboa, if he's able to get the run. Now let's see, Picariello has covered the inside line. Marciello doesn't think about a move on this lap. In the background, Guven's car moving under braking. Enschler on the inside of the Lamborghini, Heinrich on the outside in the Porsche.
You know what, Eduardo Mortara, although he's shown on the timing screen as down in 16th place, he's just put overall best in 2 sectors. Goodness me, Eduardo Mortara is quick this weekend, no doubt about that. He went quickest in sectors 2 and 4 on the previous lap. But you're right, Antonio Farroco has checked out, hasn't he? He is 3.6 seconds down the road.
So right now, Fuoco dominates the race. Picariello closing back onto the tail of Yeyife, and he's got to, otherwise he'll be prey to Marciello when they get back onto the waterfront part of the circuit. Joel Eriksson still going well in that Audi in 5th. He was quickest in Q1 yesterday. Anshin Guven is 6th, then Enschler, Heinrich, Andy Deng and Dorian Boccolacci into the top 10 at the expense of the Cinema Roll Audi of Adderley Fong.
A small white dog with the tail that's curly and looks like a cinnamon roll.
Right, I'm done. We'll tell you about Adderley Fong's car livery as well, so what Cinema Roll is. No, that is Cinema Roll, I promise you. Lawrence Vantor is still 12th after being delayed on the first lap. Van der Linde likewise, Goethe behind him, Hauser and Mortara 15th and 16th. Some big names were in strife at Lisboa. This is the fight for second, and look, Fuoco is nearly in tomorrow's race. Absolutely amazing, isn't it? That advantage at the end of the previous lap, only the second lap of the race, 3.6 seconds. We'll see what that gap is at the end of this, but Yeyife also thinking about his mirrors as well, because the Porsche is looming, the BMW is looming, the Audi is looming as well. They're all there behind the Ferrari in second place as the race leader. He's gone, and this is the battle for second place. Yeyife, Le Mans winner for 2025, with his mirrors very full of a very quick 911 Porsche behind Alessio Picariello in the 3rd place on the podium at the moment, and Raffaele Marciello in turn right behind him. Right, let's have a look for the BMW on the run down towards Lisboa this time. Just jinks out a little bit to let the Porsche know he's there. I'm sure that Alessio Picariello is in no doubt that Raffaele Marciello is right there behind him. The Ferrari just in front of the both of them. This on the run down towards Lisboa. Here they come then, hard on the brakes. Have a look in the background as well. Guven looks like he's a fraction closer to Eriksson. Not much to choose between those two in terms of a lap time, as Antonio Fuoco, who did lead the main race here last year until there was contact between him and Marciello at Lisboa. He's pulling away up front right now, is Antonio. And it is Ye from Picariello from Marciello. Eriksson 5th. 4.1 seconds the advantage at the end of lap number 3. This is a 12-lap race around the streets of Macau, and make no mistake, these are world-class drivers at the very top of their game. Imagine driving one of these cars around the streets of Macau, where at its narrowest, when you get up towards the Melco hairpin, it's 7 meters in width. And the cars are very wide in their own right. It's unbelievable skills to wrestle these cars around the streets of Macau and do it lap after lap after lap. 4.1 seconds the advantage at the end of lap number 3. Just wonder how much of Yeifei's pace is genuine, as in, could he go faster if he needed to chase after something that weren't a Ferrari? Is this a team plan to keep the others stacked up and let Antonio Fuoco get away, or is Antonio naturally that bit faster? Because right now there's not a lot that the tempo-backed Porsche of Alessio Picariello can do about Yeyife, and there's not a lot that Marciello has proved to be able to do, other than on the first lap, which didn't quite go as to plan. Antonio Fuoco in the Ferrari. We said it very briefly last year. A Ferrari leads at Macau. Didn't last very long. It's lasted a lot longer today. It's lasted 3.5 laps so far, and is about to be 4 laps of a 12-lap race, leading for Antonio Fuoco. Car number 50, the Ferrari, and then everybody else wants to be second place. Yeyife in second place, just behind Alessio Picariello, Raffaele Marciello, Joel Eriksson and Gerben complete the top 6. That's the race leader, car number 50, pole and leading the race. Yeyife in second place. The Porsche once again thinking about the BMW of Raffaele Marciello, a winner here at Macau. Superb in single-seaters here at Macau, and supreme in GTs. Is having a look. Not quite able so to do, because he runs out of straight. The onboard is from Marciello in that timing graphic. The fastest lap, by the way, done by the man that's 9th now, Dorian Boccolacci, another of the Porsche drivers, as Marciello, no surprise, absolute best, sector 1. Meanwhile, Fuoco is now 2.7 seconds up the road, fractionally down that gap last time, and I think this is partly dependent on whether or not Picariello is sitting on the back of Ye Yifei. If Ye has to defend, then it's a little bit different. If he's not thinking about defending, he can tweak his pace a little bit. But Marciello can do nothing about the Porsche, it seems.
Yeah, Farroco was 4 seconds ahead of Ye Yifei on the previous lap, now down 2.7 seconds the gap between first and second place. Raffaele Marciello, as ever he does in sector number 1, goes overall best. You made the point to him down there on the grid as well. Absolutely supreme is Raffaele in the BMW in sector 1.
But it is a BMW thing, not to take anything away from him as a driver, but we have said it in the past that that's where that car is so strong. As always, the Mercedes AMG was, because it's got so much grunt, and that is where you need grunt and a really heavy right foot. Through Donna Maria comes Ye Yifei ahead of Alessio Picariello. Marciello has dropped back. Have a look at Joel Eriksson. That Audi is a lot closer, is it not, to the BM than it was a lap ago?
It is. They all bunch up single file. They have to as they go around the Melco hairpin. Then they see the green flashing light. That means we're back under race conditions. They don't have to be single file anymore. And Puccolacci with that overall best lap of the race at 2:16.997 in the 9th position at the moment. Very impressive that, isn't it? They come up towards now, completing 5 laps in a 12-lap race.
Deng Yi is also impressive because he's probably the least experienced driver on the grid. He's 10th. He's got big names like Vanthoor, Van der Linde, Goethe, Haase and Mortara behind him. And he's not tumbling down the order. He's racing very strongly. Fuoco now 2.7 seconds clear. Fractionally, the gap has come down last time through. It is, of course, Dorian Boccolacci's Porsche 9 that's going to be attacking Laurin Heinrich soon, now that Boccolacci has done the fastest lap. But the gap second to third is certainly widening. But on this lap, I don't think Marciello is near enough to the Porsche, is he?
Agreed, and just slots in behind as they turn into Lisboa, calculating it. To think about the pressure that Picariello is under in third place. Every time he has a little glance in the mirror, it is full of huge BMW of Raffaele Marciello, who is keen to get a good starting position for tomorrow's GT Cup race. But you know also he'll be keen to be on the podium today as well. Any opportunity that might be offered to Raffaele Marciello, he'll be there to nibble it up.
Yeah, Marciello, we know, is always brave on that run to Lisboa. Think back to 2022, him and Mauro Engel side by side, rubbing the 2 Mercedes AMGs. Oh, what a first lap that was.
Stunning,
absolutely. Well, time moves on. Mauro watching, no doubt, at home, thinking what to be there. And Marciello now in a BMW, thinking I want to be ahead of that Porsche.
Eduardo Mortara has just put in an overall best in sector 2, but it all accounts for not very much. He's still down there in 16th place in the 63 Lamborghini. Disappointing weekend really for Eduardo Mortara, somebody that has experienced so much joy here around the streets of Macau.
There's a huge television screen opposite us, opposite the grandstand on the start line for all the VIPs and all the guests and all the spectators to watch the action, but it is also being looked at by all of the pit lane officials. All of the teams seem to be crowded around it, and they look like statues. Nobody has moved. They are all absolutely focused on these pictures, and especially the onboard. As you look back from this year's Le Mans winning drivers, Ferrari, Ye Yifei, he along with Robert Kubica and Phil Hansen, rather, the British driver, won the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and he would like to win another major title, the FIA GT World Cup. Well, right now Antonio Fuoco is dominating our qualifying race, but the fastest lap has just been done by Ye Yifei, and he's brought the gap down by about 4 tenths.
Yeah, 2.3 seconds the gap between first and second, and an overall fastest lap for Ye Yifei in second place in that 83 Ferrari.
I think that's because he's not having to defend. Look at the gap now over Picariello, and now that finally Ye Yifei can look out on the front, if you like, rather than have to look in the mirror and worry about what's going on behind, he now is able to drive his race, his lines, and he's on the attack. And there's another attack coming up here. Laurin Heinrich in the Porsche against Luca Engschler down towards Lisboa. And the Porsche can't quite do it, and Engschler knows what's coming, so he defends on the way to San Francisco.
It is glorious to watch these world-class drivers around the streets of Macau. They are absolutely on the limit, and yet lap after lap we have had good, clean GT3 racing. Absolutely supreme. It's a masterclass, isn't it?
It is, and this is why the manufacturers love this event. It's why all the drivers, if you like, try to do it, because if the manufacturer wants you in this race, then you know you're well thought of within the brand. Luca Engschler then, who's joined the Lamborghini ranks as a factory driver this year. Laurin Heinrich, one of the next generation of Porsche stars, tucked up behind him. And then behind Heinrich is Dorian Boccolacci, who's joined the GT ranks, having been Carrera Cup France and then very good Super Cup driver for Porsche.
Absolutely amazing. It's just glorious to watch them, isn't it? They thread their way around police. If you were to go down to that corner and realise how tight it is at these kind of speeds in these cars, and they are so close together, they are nose to tail as they make their way into the left-hander at Donna Maria. It's exceptional.
Even running it, I had to lift. Yeah, I mean, it is a tight corner, you're right. Down there towards the Malco hairpin, Engschler being reeled in, under braking there by Heinrich. Dorian Boccolacci next, and Andy Deng, look, to go back to the earlier point, is still in the mix, isn't he, in 10th place. That's a really impressive drive in that Ferrari.
Absolutely is, yeah. Really good run this in 10th place for Andy Deng, car number 37. Meanwhile, that glorious Porsche, you have to see that in real life as well.
Yeah.
The platinum Porsche and the golden Porsche, they go together so beautifully, and they scream Macau here. As well, that screams Macau as well, doesn't it? Up towards the completion of a lap. This is going to be fun to watch on the run down towards Mandarin, and then on to Lisboa as well. The Lamborghini and the Porsche so tied together, so close together, and I tell you what, the Porsche can't make a mistake either, because any places are there to be picked up just behind as well. But the two of them tied together through the incredibly quick Mandarin, far from a kink in the circuit, into corner, and now we're on the run down towards Lisboa. What's going to happen? Jinx out to the left-hand side as the Porsche has a little look, but no. And this is pro driving at its very, very best.
And out of Lisboa, you've got one last shot if you can catch somebody off guard, and that's going through San Francisco before you climb the hill, and now the road tapers. It's narrow, it's twisty, it's tough to find a way through. These are, as we have made the point repeatedly, big cars, so you do need to have a certain amount of respect for your rival and for the circuit. And Luca Engschler now turns through the right of eternity. You can see that Heinrich is quicker, and he has a look, even a cheeky look to the outside as they drop down the hill coming out of eternity bend. Couldn't do it, but if anybody was watching last year's race, you will have realised, and the drivers here will have realised, that there are more opportunities than are first thought of.
Touring car drivers used to try that, but GT drivers not so much. But you can do it. You have to be incredibly brave, and it could go horribly wrong as well. So into the right-hander at Police, on towards the right-hander at Moorish, very, very quickly into the right-hander at Moorish, and then towards the long, long, long left-hander of Donna Maria on the gear circuit here at Macau. So snug to the wall, the barrier on the inside, and then the run up towards the no overtaking zone into Melco hairpin. Boy, have we had a treat of great racing here at Macau today, and this is a great example of it. Super stuff. And that blue and purple BMW of Sheldon van der Linde, that position in the race down there in 13th place doesn't really show where Sheldon van der Linde should have been.
There's the race leader, Antonio Fuoco. I get the feeling now, driving well within himself. The margin is 2.5 seconds, but he doesn't even look to be stressing the car, does he? If you can have anything easy at Macau, this is it. Antonio Fuoco away and gone. And Ye Yifei in second place. It's been quite a season for Ferrari, winning Le Mans, winning the FIA World Endurance Championship. And in GT terms, maybe a Macau victory is going to go the brand's way tomorrow. It's still Ye second, it's Picariello third. And Marchiello really has faded away, hasn't he, over the last 2 or 3 laps there in 4th place.
Has a bit, and we mentioned yesterday during qualifying, and in fact for all 3 days so far, we're going to have a look at this. The Porsche on the left-hand side, no, once again into Lisboa. What about a look down the San Francisco Hill, all over the back of the Lamborghini on the run-up San Francisco Hill, and no. Slot in behind, and we'll do it all again. We've got more time to do this. We've completed 8 laps. We've got 12 laps, and well, what would you do? What would you do?
If I were Laurin Heinrich, I would keep fighting, because even if I can't get through, I might force an error out of Luca Engschler. We saw mistakes be made on the first lap, and we saw in an earlier single-seater race today a mistake made on the very last lap, coming out of the hairpin from the driver in second place. So just keep applying the pressure. You never know what is going to happen. It's perhaps important not to get almost hypnotised by that car ahead and just follow it and think you're not going to get through. Heinrich needs to be semi-creative, dart around in the mirror, try and distract Engstler if he can, but he's also got to be mindful that Boccolacci is reeling him in.
We saw it earlier on, within sight of the checkered flag. You have to have 100% concentration at every little moment of the gear circuit here at Macau. The slightest lapse of concentration and it can all go horribly, horribly wrong. Here we go into the Macau hairpin. They are tied together this time. There is less than the width of a cigarette paper between the two of them as they go around Macau hairpin. The circuit opens up down through Black Sands, down towards Fisherman's Bend, the conclusion of what will be at the end of this lap. 9 laps completed for our qualification race for the Macau GT Cup.
Race leaders have gone by, gap up to 2.6 seconds again, as Antonio Fuoco just reminds his teammate who's boss. Picariello is third, Marchiello is fourth, and it's Ericsson and Guver to round out the top 6. This for 7th. Luca Engstler still ahead of Laurin Heinrich, and the gap between them is 0.4 of a second on that lap. Heinrich was the quicker of the two by a whopping 4 thousandths of a second, so it is incredibly tight between the two. Next up is Boccolacci, then Andy Dang, and Lawrence Vantor is just not making progress. I know it's a rebuilt car, I know it's a replacement engine. It's been a really disappointing weekend, and it started so well. But for the accident at this part of the circuit on Thursday in FP1, it could have been a different story, as Heinrich again threatens Engstler, and again is denied.
Yeah, different opportunity there. Had a look down on the inside on the run down towards Lisboa, and I wondered, because every lap that Laurin Heinrich goes through, he tries to put his nose in a different position on the run down towards Lisboa, and I just wonder if that's to rather confuse Luca Engstler as to where the potential opportunity may take place down there at Lisboa.
I think you're right, and he's got to keep doing that to try to distract Engstler. All he needs is one door ajar, and suddenly it's a different proposition. So the stunning-looking gold Porsche drops downhill, the car being run through the Schumacher CLRT stable, the Coam Ledegar racing team. Coam, very good GT racer, was a Block Pad Endurance Series champion in a McLaren. He then had a great success rate in Porsches, and now running them very effectively as well. So we're currently working lap 10 in this 12-lap qualifying race, and you can see that not only is Dorian Boccolacci now hanging off the back of Heinrich, but they're being caught a little bit by Andy Dang, which illustrates the relative lack of get up and go of that Lamborghini, doesn't it? And there, look, Engstler did hang out the tail coming off Donna Maria. Sadly, though, for Heinrich, it's completely the wrong part of the racetrack because there's no room to make a move.
You're absolutely right, goodness me. And we are coming up towards the final couple of laps in this 12-lap race. That's our race leader, that's Antonio Fuoco in a Ferrari. We made the point yesterday, didn't we, David, in qualifying, that Ferrari just looks so comfortable around the streets of Macau this year. Looks absolutely planted.
Gets down a fraction, though, from 2.6 to 2.3. So Ye Yifei is closing a touch. Then you've got Picariello and Ericsson in the Audi going through behind. On that lap also was 3 thousandths of a second quicker than Marchiello. He's gained, but not by a huge amount. There's second, there's third, Alessio Picariello. So Ferrari, Porsche, BMW, Audi, Porsche. Aenshin Guven in 6th place in the Platinum car. There it is, the third car in shot, second car, that car.
Audi's going well, isn't it? Joel Eriksson at the wheel of it, and yeah, it was interesting to hear from Joel down there. Are we going to have a look down as the Porsche comes out to the left-hand side on the run down towards Lisboa? No, but once again, another opportunity has been shown to Luca Engstler. Must be worn out.
Yeah, under the not for the want of trying heading. Yeah. That is right up there. Alessio Picariello trying to come back at Ye Yifei. He's done an absolute best middle sector. Last lap through, it was 2/10 slower. Picariello, now that he doesn't have to think about that man, Marchiello behind him, is leaving nothing on the table now as we get towards the end of the race. If they've got anything left in the tyres, this is the time to use it.
Was that a bit of a wiggle I saw for Ye Yifei then? He is a little bit under pressure, has been race long, but as you say, we are getting towards the end of the race and the tyres are not at their early part of the race premium. That's for sure, but there was a little bit of a wiggle, and a little bit of a wiggle is not something you want on this section of the gear circuit at Macau. he might get away with it once. I'm not sure he'll get away with it more than once, but around Donna Maria they go, up towards the Melco hairpin once again. This is the car in second place. Ferrari first, Ferrari second, and Alessio Piccarello in the Porsche in third place. Was that quite a slow exit from the corner for Ye Fei from the Melco hairpin? Maybe being just a little bit careful. Not sure the tyres are quite as good as they were at the start of the race, and I think we have to be a little bit more cautious now.
You might be right. Certainly 3/10 gained in that fourth sector alone by Piccarello. I think he's going to run out of laps to get past the Ferrari, unless the tyres really go off, unless having to defend early on, Ye Fei has asked too much of them. But you would think that Piccarello has been in the same boat, because he was attacking and defending as well. Over the line they go then. Fuoco is cleared now by 2.6 seconds, and it's 9/10 as they start the last lap between Piccarello and the car ahead, Ye Fei. Marciello fourth, Ericsson fifth, and in sixth place, Ian Shinguven. Let's see what the first sector holds. It lasts for about 23 seconds in a GT car. We're coming to the end of it. Ye Fei versus Alessio Piccarello. I think Alessio is going to have to settle for third here, where he started effectively. And the Ferraris, the gap down between Fuoco and Ye as they get to Lisboa.
And the Audi was closing on the back of the BMW, wasn't it? So Ericsson and Marciello. I think Marciello has that under control now. And here we go. It's going to be one last chance. No, only a show of a nose for the golden Porsche as they head their way around Lisboa. I wonder if that's going to be the same story tomorrow, because he's shown his nose a few times, but has not yet pressed the point, has he, in the qualification race? Maybe things will change tomorrow.
Yeah, main race, different story, isn't it, as the cars plunge downhill. Well, Antonio Fuoco put himself into the lead of last year's very dramatic FIA GT World Cup, but it was not to be. This qualifying race going his way. The qualification race determines the grid positions for tomorrow, and the top three are going to be the same, aren't they? The driver, if you like, that has lost out slightly is Joel Eriksson, who's gone from fourth down to fifth. Marciello has gained one place after that dramatic first lap, but an absolutely perfect drive by Antonio Fuoco, and he can afford now to back it off, can't he? It doesn't matter what the gap is like, because Ye Fei is not going to be able to find a way past him, and Antonio Fuoco can just stroke it home after a majestic drive.
Into the Melco hairpin he goes. The Ferrari that took pole position yesterday leads them down from the Melco hairpin, down through Black Sands, on towards the penultimate turn, the right turn at Fisherman's Bend, and the conclusion at our Bend. This has been exceptional for Antonio Fuoco in qualifying and in race.
The checkered flag is ready. It is going to be a Ferrari win at Macau. Antonio Fuoco comes now into the right-hander of our Bend. Checkered flag at the ready from pole to the win. Antonio Fuoco is victorious in the Macau GT Cup qualification race for the FIA GT World Cup tomorrow. Second, Ferrari, Ye Fei. Third, Porsche, Alessio Piccarello. Then it's BMW, Audi, Porsche, Marciello, Ericsson, Goodman to round out the top six. Seventh will go right up against the wall to Luca Engler from Laurin Heinrich, then Dorian Boccalacci, Andy Deng, and Lawrence Fantor comes through in 11th place. 12th will be Adley Fong. Sheldon van der Linde's BMW is going to be in 13th place, and then Benji Goethe, Christopher Hasse, and this man, Eduardo Mortara, to round out the order. All 16 have made it home despite the dramas down at Lisboa on lap one. And Edo Mortara last is not something you often say about Mr. Macau, but it has been a really tough weekend for him.
It really has, yeah. There was a moment of celebration after qualifying, which then turned into a moment of disappointment for Eduardo Mortara. And he's not used to that kind of finishing result, is he? 16th at the end of the qualification race. David, that was a joy, an absolute joy. And one of the reasons we say it was a joy is because that was a supreme, racing hard around the streets of Macau and not one single interruption.
No, and even the incident down at Lisboa was dealt with quickly by the drivers, who knew how to get the cars back. They knew how to keep the engine up, the revs go up and the engine going and so forth. They knew how to sort themselves out without becoming chaotic, as lots of them were all up the escape road, and they all, as you say, survived. And a really impressive drive that by Antonio Fuoco. And a good drive by Luca Engler as well to keep Laurin Heinrich at bay. He didn't crack under the pressure, didn't make a mistake, and this at a daunting circuit, one for which the last time he was here he never got to race because of a monster accident that he had during the qualifying periods. Antonio Fuoco then adds another race win to his long list. He will start tomorrow on pole position. Winner of Le Mans last year. He's won the Gulf 12 Hours. He's a World Endurance champion and Formula Renault champion as well, going back a decade plus. But perfect drive that, and Ferrari as a brand will be delighted with not only a 1-2 on the grid, but a 1-2 in the race.
They can be very happy with the whole weekend here at Macau thus far. I wonder if they can add to that a World Cup. The FIA GT World Cup here at Macau tomorrow. Sunshine, clear skies and a very happy crowd. I've enjoyed the action here today at Macau. It has been quite superb, and that was a Ferrari 1-2 with a Porsche in third place. A great whetting of the appetite for tomorrow's World Cup race here at Macau. A longer race as well, just after midday, 12:35 tomorrow. 16 laps for these beautiful cars around the streets of Macau. And Antonio Farroco can be very happy with supreme qualifying, pole position and a lights to flag victory as well. The Ferrari heads now down into pit lane. All the officials, the marshals down there, indicating everyone to keep left and head into pit lane, where we will see the top three drivers bring their cars to a stop. Not sure if we're going to hear interviews down there in Parc Fermé. Surely we'll see the pictures at very least of, well, last night after qualifying, Antonio Farroco, like I mentioned earlier on, was quite happy to stay for quite a while around the garage and sign autographs and pose for photographs and do interviews, and it was quite long into the evening yesterday, because any victory at Macau is something to be celebrated, isn't it?
Totally. And especially when, if you like, there's a score to settle, not necessarily with Raffaele Marciello after contact last year, but more perhaps with the venue itself. I think Antonio Farroco felt that Macau owed him one, if you like, and today the score is settled. He's had a win, but that's only really the first chapter, isn't it? Because tomorrow is the main race, the title race, and it's a longer race too. So, cars into Parc Fermé, gates shut. The only people allowed in are the officials and Pirelli's representatives to get the data that they need for the tyres. Antonio Farroco out of the car, very happy, and he looks like he's just sauntering out of his room almost, doesn't it, from the hotel. There's no fuss, no drama, nothing. He is so relaxed.
12, yep. The gear circuit at Macau.
Lauren Granville from SRO is there with the winner's Pirelli cap. SRO that looks after the grid for this race. Right, let's hear from Antonio Farroco. Alex Legui is down there for us.
Antonio Farroco, what a place to do it. Feels like redemption after that near victory last year. A brilliant drive from start to finish.
Yeah, I mean, I think we had really good start, and then I tried to do my best. The people behind, they were quite fast, so I think we did a really good job today, and now we need to think about tomorrow.
It must put you in good stead. You must feel confident ahead of tomorrow's main race.
Yeah, I mean, I felt okay, but I think today we had new tires while the other start with the old tires. So here in Macau, you never know. For sure, we start on really good place, so we just need to do our best.
Well done. Great job, Antonio.
It was a great job done by Antonio Farroco, and it'll be fascinating to see what pans out tomorrow. Ye Yifei there goes to congratulate his stablemate in the Ferrari's, the car of Antonio Farroco out of the AF Corsa stable, which is as close to a factory car as you're going to get. Ye Yifei badged for Harmony Racing, one of the local teams. Now the drivers need to go to the podium. We'll be able to hear from them in due course. Away there from the FIA's technical offices, technical area. So helmet, hands device handed to the team, and Antonio Farroco makes his way now up to the podium. Now what about Ye Yifei? Second place. Let's get back down to Alex and hear from him.
Ye Yifei, close but no cigar, but certainly still gives you confidence ahead of tomorrow's race.
Yeah, knowing that starting on old tires will be difficult compared to Antonio on new tires, maybe some others. So we knew that we just have to try to, get out of T1 in a good position, avoid fighting between us. And actually, Marcello was coming very close into Lisboa on the outside, but luckily I was just able to outbrake him and keep the place. Yeah, all to play for tomorrow. Great job to the team, to Ferrari, and let's see tomorrow how we do.
To play for indeed. Well done.
So good job done by AFA. Alessio Picariello, the third placed driver in Porsche, will be making his way to the podium as well. Trying to get from one side of the paddock to the other.
It's not easy.
It's absolutely not the work at the moment. Everybody wants a word, everybody wants a photograph. There's Antonio Fuoco celebrating with the AF Corsa team. The Macau Grand Prix officials trying to shepherd the drivers through all the cameras, all the crew, and all the photographers. AF Corsa and Marco Ferrari's team is very much the go-to Ferrari squad and has had massive success over the last decade or so. Marco, no mean driver himself, a good 4 decades ago. To the podium goes Antonio Fuoco, Yeyife and Alessio Picariello. Ferrari, Porsche, BMW, Audi, Porsche, the order. Yeyife's arrival at the podium is delayed because the Harmony Racing team want up-team photographs.
So often the way here at Macau, you've got to go from one side of the paddock to the other, and although that picture that we see there, it isn't the best of ways of showing just how busy that paddock is. It's absolutely rammed all day long, and it is the hustle and bustle of the paddock and the marshals with their whistles getting you out of the way for when the cars need to be threading their way through. But this is not an easy ride from one side of the paddock to the other. I think they're doing a pretty good job.
I will go along with that. And Yeyife, who's not really been a Macau driver before, he's not been exposed to the Macau way of doing things, goes from one side of the paddock to the other, ready for the podium, which will be the other side of that big permanent building you see on the left on the pit straight, which of course is public roads. Let's have another look at the start of the race. On board here at the back with Eduardo Mortara. So coming down towards our bend, the other side of which on the left is the everyday traffic. Now the pin is pulled, the cars accelerate up towards the line. You can see on the gantry the lights change. We're in business then. They accelerate down towards Reservoir and 3 wide. Which way do you go if you're Eduardo Mortara? Well, he tried the inside, and look at that. Laurin Heinrich fired it up the inside, danced off the side of the car ahead. They got away with that. We didn't see that from the outside.
Hadn't seen that before.
That was very close indeed. Laurin Heinrich on a mission. Out of Mandarin. Heinrich ahead. Absolutely flat to the boards. They're down through the gears, third gear, second gear, but he couldn't get the car slowed down, and Mortara has to go up the escape road. And look, in the mirror, you see the spinning McLaren of Benji Goethe arrive on the scene that thankfully didn't collect him, but it was close. Antonio Fuoco wins the qualification race for the FIA GT World Cup from Yeyife and Alessio Picariello. He rounds out the podium. BMW taking fourth, courtesy of Raffaele Marciello, and Audi fifth, Joel Eriksson, with Ian Guven ahead of Luca Angela, who fended off Laurin Heinrich, Dorian Boccolacci, and Andy Deng round out the top 10. 11th going to Laurence Fantor from Adley Fong, and then Sheldon van der Linde, Benji Goethe after a lap 1 spin. 14th, Christopher Haase having headbutted the tyres at Lisboa on lap 1. 15th, and Eduardo Mortara also having gone up the escape road down in 16th place. That is about the calmest the pit straight has been now for the last hour or so.
Yes, you're right. What a thrill that was. Absolutely superb. Podium coming up, and the fact that the door is open at the side of the podium, I think it means the podium presenter is preparing and soon will be on their way, as indeed are the trophy queens.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's time for the prize presentation at the podium for the Macau GT Cup FIA GT World Cup qualification race. First of all, let's welcome our winning drivers. Second runner-up, number 911, Alessio Picariello from Belgium. And the first runner-up, number 83, Ye Yifei from China. And the winner, number 50, Antonio Fuoco from Italy. Congratulations. And now, please welcome Mr. Dave Sun, Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer of Sense China Limited, Managing Director of Venetian Macau Limited, to present the laurels and trophies. First to our second runner-up, number 911, Alessio Picariello. And now to our first runner-up, number 83, Ye Yifei from China. And to our winner, number 50, Antonio Fuoco. Congratulations. And let's gather at the center and look to the front to take a good photo, capturing this glorious moment of our winning drivers. All right, wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Sun. And now I would like to invite all of our drivers to move to the top of the podium to take one more good photo, please. All right, again, look to the front, enjoying your glorious moment. Wonderful, thank you. Please remain, and now I'll pass the mic to Chris. We're gonna have an interview section with our winning drivers, please.
Thank you very much. Right, let's start with Alessio. Alessio, well done, great result. You get better and better every time you come to Macau. Does it help, that experience, to have the confidence to drive here?
Yeah, I think it really helps to come every year. Luckily, I have the trust from Porsche and Absolute Racing, and this year Tempo to put me in their car. And it's always a pleasure to come back every year. And like you said, I improve, and now I'm getting closer and closer. So yeah, I'm just enjoying it.
You had to work hard in the first half of the race. You were trying to attack, but also defend from the BMW of Raffaele.
Yeah, I think I will do nightmare of this car. I mean, the gap was pretty big before last corner, and then he was attacking me already before Mandarin with these big yellow lights, so it was a bit scary. But yeah, I mean, we lack a bit of raceability, but the car is very good in the mountain. I think in free air, I could have gone with Antonio, but yeah, I mean, that's racing. We will try to improve this for tomorrow. For sure, the key will be to have a good start, and then we will see.
Great job so far. Well done. And Yefei in second place. Yefei, this is the second famous podium you've been on this year. You're having a great 2025.
Yeah, living the dream.
How was the race? Second time for you here at Macau. Did you learn a lot last year?
Yeah, last year on the grid, I didn't really know how to start a car because I haven't driven this car so much. But this year I've gathered some more experiences, and definitely it has helped a lot. And yeah, we have a great race today, and looking forward to tomorrow.
You kept your pace all the way through the race. Your lap times at the end were pretty much as quick as at the beginning of the race. That must give you some confidence for tomorrow.
I mean, knowing that we started on used tires compared to Antonio, who saved a set of tires in the Prix practice, for sure we knew that in the first few laps we would have a hard time. But yeah, just try to keep calm, try to keep it clean and consistent, because we know the race is tomorrow. So
yeah, well, you're in a great position. Well done. Second place on the front row tomorrow. Antonio, very well done. You got the first Ferrari pole position yesterday in that Super Pole shootout, and you've turned it into a race win. But I guess it's only half the job for you. Tomorrow is what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, the main race is tomorrow, but for sure we start on a good position. We also saw that the competitors are really strong, so we will try to do our best. We enjoy today, so I hope we can have also a good race tomorrow.
I guess it's quite hard being at the front all the time on your own, because any slight lapse in concentration and you get punished here at Macau, so you have to remain 100% focused.
Yeah, I mean, you need to stay focused also, because during the race, Yifei and the people behind, they were coming close, so I try to be 100% focused on the race, try to manage a bit with the wall and everything, and I think everything went well today.
You very much did. Good luck for tomorrow, all three of you. Well done to our top three in the GT Cup race.
Thank you and congratulations again to all our winning drivers and the races tomorrow. So looking forward and the best wishes to you for tomorrow. Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep enjoying the 70-second Macau Grand
Okay, welcome to the race winners press conference, the qualification race for the Macau GT Cup, FIA GT World Cup. We have our race winner, Antonio Fuoco, second, Ye Yifei, and third, Alessio Picariello. Congratulations to all three of you.
大家好，歡迎大家嚟到第72屆澳門格蘭披治大賽車澳門 GT 杯國際汽聯 GT 世界盃選拔賽嘅賽後記者會。首先，我哋恭喜台上面嘅3位車手，佢哋分別係第一位嘅富奧、第二位葉一飛同埋第3位嘅皮卡利耶魯。Before everything, Furo, can you please put your trophy a bit back to you so that you? Okay.
Antonio, congratulations, a great start, sensational first few laps. You were 4 seconds ahead, I think, after 2 laps, then the gap stabilised and came down. How are things playing out? Why did that gap fluctuate a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think I had a really good start, and then I think compared to the others, I had new tires, so I was able to push a bit more at the beginning and being able to open a bit the gap. And then, I mean, the guys were coming back, but at the end I was able to keep the 2 seconds at the end of the race. The car felt really good today, so as I said, I think we had a really good start, then we managed a bit, and now we need to focus about tomorrow.
剛才排第一嘅富表示咧，佢喺選拔賽嘅起步做得非常之好啦，咁可以用新嘅輪胎，其實比賽開始嘅時候咧已經擦出一個比較好嘅速度㗎啦。咁當然對手喺比賽嘅過程當中都不停向佢施壓啦，但佢開心自己可以抵受到對方嘅壓力，咁好期待聽日嘅賽事。
You've been very confident in the car throughout this weekend. You look very comfortable out in front today, but do you think tomorrow's race will be a different matter, especially with kind of more tyre equalisation?
Yeah, for sure. Tomorrow will be a bit different, especially when you have some car behind that are 10k faster on the straight. It will be not easy to stay in the front until Lisboa. So we will try to do our best, and then we see.
佢都補充到咧，佢相信聽日咧將會係一場硬戰啦，因為對手其實都非常之強勁啦，所以佢聽日咧會全力以赴。
Yeah, congratulations on second place. If we can talk about the start of the race, obviously Antonio had got clear, but you faced some big pressure from behind, and Raffaele came very close to getting around the outside. How did that play out?
Yeah, we managed a very good start with Antonio to not lose time and actually to get out of turn 1 with a good position. And then, yeah, as Antonio said, with the car actually was more than like 15 kph faster than us. It was difficult. Actually, I was briefly behind him going through Lisboa, behind Raffaele, but I just managed to brake very, very late and get the place back. From there onwards, obviously having old tires was more difficult in the first few laps, but I knew that important is just to finish the race in a good position and to be able to fight for tomorrow. And thanks to the team, to everyone who provided a perfect car today.
可不可以请你与中文的听众和观众分享一下？
OK， 好。今天我和我的队友Foco 有一个很好的配合在起步，我们在1号弯的时候顺利保持了位置，然后但之后就像他刚才说的，我们在直道上要比他们可能慢15公里，所以在3号弯之前，我其实短暂的被那个Rafael Marcello 超过了，但是我通过我很晚的刹车，然后把这个位置夺了回来。之后因为我知道我用的是旧胎，所以说可能在前几圈会比较挣扎，但是我知道明天正赛是在明天。 所以说，今天的任务是安全完赛，然后把赛车带到很好的位置，然后这样明天可以有个好的冲刺冠军的机会。
The gap to Antonio stabilised around 2.5 seconds after the first few laps, but you had big pressure from behind Alessio. That Porsche wasn't being dropped. How much pressure were you feeling? How comfortable were you with the kind of the pace you were doing at that point?
Honestly, in Macau, you know, we are all professional drivers, and unless we make a mistake, which normally we don't, even if you're on the back of someone, you know, there's not really a serious chance. Let's say with cars that are equal kind of top speed. So even if I push more to try to catch Antonio, would have made no sense. Also, vice versa, there was no point because I knew that if I just keep driving cleanly, normally I should be able to keep Alessio behind. So at the end, it was just about to manage the race and yeah, to have the car good for tomorrow. Oh, again. What was the question? I know. 因为我知道在澳门的话，其实说实话非常难超车，尤其是我们都是职业的车手，所以呢，如果在前车不犯错的情况下，很难有超车的机会。我知道，即使我可能是冒更多险去追我队友，我Foco 的话，但其实也没有太大意义，因为。 其实我追上了更多的时间，但其实也很难超车。然后我也知道我后面的车手，如果我不犯错的话，我也能把它保持在后面。所以说我知道今天的目标是安全完赛，然后积累数据，然后为明天的正赛做最好的准备。
Alessio, congratulations on third place. I think your race was kind of had two halves. The first half, a lot of pressure from behind Raffaele. How was that playing out, and how difficult was that on the straights when that BMW was coming down quite fast?
Yeah, it was actually very difficult, and for me it was a little bit different than Yifei just explained, is that I was pretty quick at the beginning in the mountain, and that's where I could do the difference compared to the BMW. But I was a bit stuck behind the Ferrari in front, and therefore the BMW was not so close, but close enough to always try to attack me. I mean, that car is so quick in the straight, and therefore for us it's very difficult to, in the first few laps, especially if you have traffic in front. But then I saw he was struggling a bit with his tires, and I was feeling better and better. Also, Yifei was getting quicker, which helped me to pull the gap to the BMW before the last sector. So. Yeah, a little bit frustrating because I feel like we had a lot of pace, but yeah, to overtake here in Macau is very difficult. But yeah, happy about the car. I think we have what it takes now. Let's see tomorrow at the start. For sure, it will be tough to keep Lello behind, but yeah, we will try our best.
剛才排第3嘅皮卡利耶路咧表示，其實自己咧喺山路嘅路段咧，其實速度都比較快啦。咁但係因為前車其實佢哋嗰個佢同前車嘅一開始嘅距離都比較近，咁同埋後面有馬些路嘅攻勢，所以其實咧佢可以發揮嘅嗰個空間咧並唔係好大嘅。不過去到隨住賽事嘅後面啦，佢同前車同埋後車咧開始拉開咗個距離之後咧，佢反而有多啲嘅空間可以俾佢即係保持佢嘅速度啦。咁雖然咧佢好想做到一個更加好嘅成績，但係因為剛才賽事其實個路況都好擠擁啦，佢都未能夠可以做到一個更加好嘅名次。咁但係佢覺得自己嘅賽車性能非常之好啦，所以好期待聽日嘅賽事可以做到更加好嘅成績。
Now you know the strengths of your car and how it compares to the Ferrari. How confident are you feeling about tomorrow, and do you think you need to get at least one place off the start if you can have a chance of going for the win?
Yes, I mean, for sure it always helps, but I mean, compared to the Ferrari, I think we are quite close. I think we are maybe a little bit quicker in some places in the mountain. They are a little bit quicker out of the last corner, which helped them also for reversibility, but we are pretty close. So with the Ferrari, let's say it's going to be tight, it's going to be hard, but it can be fair. With the BMW, it's very tough, but they also struggle a lot in the mountain, and the race tomorrow is longer, so they will struggle even more, I guess. So yeah, let's see. I think there will be a lot of drama at the start because for sure a lot will try. Do I have to take risk or not? I will see after the lights.
而佢亦都補充到咧，其實佢覺得自己嘅賽車啦，同埋對手嘅賽車咧，喺各路段唔同嘅路段咧，都有各自嘅優勢同埋劣勢嘅。譬如佢自己嘅賽車咧，其實佢覺得喺山路嘅表現比較好啦。咁但係法拉利嘅賽車咧，可能喺最後一彎嘅速度咧就會比較快嘅。咁佢相信咧，聽日嘅比賽中會非常之刺激啦。而佢本人咧，亦都會思考下聽日應該點樣以一個點樣嘅策略去到攞到更加好嘅名次。
Okay, any questions for our top three?
開放現場提問。
No, we're all good. Congratulations. If you can come together a photograph, that would be fantastic. Thank you.
Daiga Ho, everybody. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us here at the press conference, the Kumo FIA TCR World Tour. Bebu, we start with you. That was an incredible race, very clean start, amazing win. Were you able to do maximum attack, knowing that you were pretty safe, knowing that there was a championship going on behind you, or was it still high risk?
First of all, I would like to congratulate Jan for his third title, well-deserved mate. Also to Mikel for P2, starting from P7, was amazing to see 1-2 from Hyundai in the podium. And to be honest, in Macau, it's all about Sector 1 and Sector 5. It's very difficult in Sector 2, 3, and 4 to make an overtake, and it's very easy to overheat the front tires. So I knew if I saved the tires in those sectors, then I will be able to make the gap. My car was very strong on the straight, so I didn't want to put any risk on Sector 2, 3, and 4. And this was the strategy before also the race, no? To make the setup working in that fast section, let's say. But I was very happy because at the middle of the race I started to feel some vibration, and also 4th to 5th was not engaging. and at one moment I thought, oh, maybe we will not make it, but nevertheless we did it, and I'm so happy for the team because it was a tough season for us. We started in Mexico, not so good. We lost many points with the guys here, and then to finish in the high in that way is very needed. So I congratulate all BRC Squadra Corsa, Hyundai, and I hope we can finish on the high tomorrow as well.
When Mikel was let through into P2, did that bring with it some risk, or was there a degree of orders to protect you as the leader?
No, it was a team order already at the start. We know how to play. And we play smart. I think finish 1-2 was the main goal for the team, and we did it. So there was no reason for me to push. When I saw Mikel, I was happy because making a 1-2 in Macau is very nice for the team. So congratulations for that.
Brilliantly done.
好，歡迎大家嚟到第72屆澳門格蘭披治大賽車澳門東望洋大賽 Kumo 國際汽聯 TCR 世界巡迴賽澳門站第一回合正賽嘅賽後記者會。首先，我哋恭喜台上面嘅3位車手啦，佢哋分別係第一位嘅基奧拿美、第2位斯哥拿同埋第3名嘅艾拿卓嘅。剛才咧，基奧拿美都有同我哋分享啦，其實佢好開心啦，可以嚟澳門作賽啦。首先，佢恭喜艾拿卓啦，成為咗Kumo 國際汽聯 TCR 世界巡迴賽嘅總冠軍嘅。第二咧，佢亦都為自己嘅車隊感到高興啦，因為第一位同第2位咧，其實都係現代嘅車隊嘅車手嚟嘅。咁另外第3咧，佢就話其實嚟到澳門參賽咧，一直都知道可以真係有爭奪嘅 pace 嘅咧，其實都係喺 Sector 1同埋 Sector 5嘅，而喺賽事嘅中段咧，其實就好難可以超越對手，所以佢就決定喺中段嘅時候咧，保持輪胎嘅 呢個穩定性啦，咁同埋佢會盡量保持咗速度啦，然之後不停咁樣擦出快圈，最後咧就攞到依家呢個成績嘅。喺賽事嘅中途咧，其實佢架車都有啲唔穩啦，但係佢開心可以將架車安全帶過終點，亦都對呢個賽果好開心啦。好多謝車隊幫佢準備咗一個咁好嘅賽車，同埋期待聽日嘅精彩嘅。而至於剛才亦都有提問咧，其實對手之後有成功爬到去佢後邊啦，咁佢有冇覺得壓力？其實佢覺得作為一個團隊合作上嚟講咧，其實佢覺得咁樣嘅競爭係冇問題嘅。咁同埋佢再一次強調啦，好開心為車隊爭奪到第一同埋第二嘅位置。
Wow. Mikel Ascona, congratulations. This feels like a really deserved P2 podium here in Macau after your pace yesterday. Just talk us through the race from your perspective.
Yeah, thanks so much. First, congrats Ian for the title and also Bebu for the race win. Yeah, I feel so happy, to be honest. After not a really good qualifying yesterday, touching the wall and then being out of pole chances, I felt so bad. So, to be honest, now to be back on P2, this comeback was an amazing race. It was all about the start, to be honest. I knew that if I do a good jump, good launch, I had small possibilities to overtake. I did it, so after Mandarin also I had the chance to go into the inside. We were 3 wide. I took the chance to go into the inside, which is the best place. So it was very good. And then from this point, already on the podium, so try to manage the tires, long race, it was very hot. And trying to defend from Esteban because he was pushing at the beginning and I didn't want to lose the podium. So in the middle of the race, I felt competitive and I felt how Esteban was kind of losing performance or struggling with the tires. So then I started to push slightly more, but you cannot push much more here because the wall is so close. And then I felt competitive. So yeah, also when I was close to Ian, I realized that he was looking for the title and he was not kind of defending. So happy for this second position. Also good for Hyundai BRC, P1, P2 in Macau is very good and positive for us, no, as a team, as a brand.
Congratulations, Mikel.
而第二位嘅阿斯哥拿咧，亦都表示佢首先好想借呢個機會恭喜艾拿卓成為咗總冠軍啦。另外佢對自己嘅賽果咧都非常之滿意嘅。其實喺尋日嘅比賽裏邊咧，佢就有擦場啦，所以其實佢自己唔係好開心。但係依家咧可以排翻去第二咧，佢覺得自己都做得好好嘅。咁喺賽事過程當中咧，佢有超車啦，咁喺內線成功地爬咗去第二位啦。之後佢就覺得自己既然都可以保持到頒獎台位置，咁佢就繼續保持輪胎嘅能力啦，咁同埋繼續保持自己嘅位置，希望唔好俾後車超越。最後好開心啦，可以攞到第二嘅成績，亦都為車隊感到高興，可以攞到第一同埋第二嘅位置。
Jan Erleche, 4 wins, 14 podiums. You've led the championship since round 2. You've been relentlessly consistent. This must feel like a deserved 3rd world title.
Yeah, thank you very much. First of all, well done to Nestor and Mikel for the 1-2 for Hyundais. It's always good to win a race in Macau. But yeah, for us it was a good season. We've been leading very early in the season, and then we just kept that lead to the end. It was quite a lot of pressure at the end from, let's say, Korea, where Ted started to do a very good job every weekend, scoring podiums basically all races. So it was just about keeping digging, carrying weight since the beginning of the season, almost every weekend between 30 and 40 kilos. So it was quite tough. But I'm very happy about the way the team handled this season. You know, we had like 2 years or even 3 from 22 to now where we struggled to get the driver title. We got the team title, but yeah, the driver title belongs to Hyundai those years, and yeah, we are happy to get those 2 titles this year. And it was not an easy one when you have like 4 competitive drivers in the same team. It's quite easy to maximize the points. So yeah, I'm very happy and proud of the job we did, and about today was just about to survive, doing a good start. I did a bit better start than Nestor, but I could not challenge him with the 30 kilo. It was just about to survive. At some point I thought, okay, maybe I have pace to do something, because winning Macau is still a win in Macau. But following him through the mountain, you overheat the front tires quite a lot. And when Mikel came back, I prefer to let him go because it was too risky for me to start defending. And the last time I got those 2 guys in front of me, the last race weekend. Something could have happened for me to get a win, so I was expecting a bit of spicy stuff, but apparently it was a bit more chill today. So no, overall very happy. I can't wait to finish the season tomorrow. We will have another good race with basically nothing to play for the team or the driver. So we'll be just about enjoying and celebrating everything with the family and the team, and starting to think about 26 from next week.
No rest for the wicked. At what point during the race did you have that moment of, okay, the title is mine?
Well, I think from Lisboa, basically, I was like, okay, well, if nothing happened to the car or if I don't do a stupid mistake, basically nothing can really happen. I saw Ted dropped a little bit, lost some places. So from Lisboa on, I was like, okay, now it's up to me to manage my pace and to deliver a good performance till the end to save what I have to save. But you know, when you lead the championship, you came to the last round, in your mind, you know there is a possibility to win. It's not like I came and it's a surprise for me to win the title this year, even though for sure it was a big pressure because you lose it. When you lead, you can only lose. So it was a big pressure, but it's not like a surprise, even though we are super happy about it.
Incredible result.
Thank you.
Any questions from the audience?
Sorry, before that.
Sorry.
No worries. 剛才排喺第3位，亦都係 TCR 世界巡迴賽總冠軍嘅艾拿卓咧，都表示其實自己首先好恭喜第一位同埋第二位嘅車手啦，可以為佢哋嘅車隊爭奪到1、2嘅位置啦。另外總括成個賽季嚟講咧，佢覺得自己嘅表現咧都係唔錯嘅，咁不停可以攞到頒獎台嘅位置啦，咁然後喺成個賽季裏邊咧都可以保持到一個唔錯嘅速度啦、pace 啦，亦都冇犯太多嘅錯誤啦。咁佢咧就其實喺今日嘅賽事裏邊咧，因為賽車有加重嘅問題咧，所以佢嘅目標就係保持好個好嘅位置啦，做到一個好嘅起步啦，咁同埋將架車安全帶過終點嘅。咁呢幾樣咧，佢都有好成功咁樣做到啦。咁所以佢好期待今日嘅比賽，亦都好期待聽日咧可以喺賽季結束之後咧開始諗下一年可以點樣咯喎。咁而至於佢都有分享到咧，其實佢大概喺最後一圈入到葡京灣之後咧，佢就已經感覺到只要自己保持住架車嘅性能啦，冇犯任何嘅錯誤啦，其實佢應該就可以攞到總冠軍嘅名次㗎啦。
And now,
do you mind, guys, if I ask somebody to join you on the stage? Do you? So I would like to invite Kathi Muller, who has raced here in Formula 3 a few years ago, and is Jan's mother. Please.
另外咧，我哋依家邀請艾拿卓嘅媽咪上台啦。其實佢嘅媽咪咧曾經喺澳門參加過比賽嘅，80年代咧曾經有喺澳門參加過 F3 嘅賽事啦。而佢咧亦都係鼎鼎大名嘅穆拿家族嘅其中一員嚟嘅。咁相信佢嘅舅父伊雲梅拿咧，其實大家都唔陌生㗎啦。咁依家台上嘅咧就係艾拿卓嘅媽咪。
Kathi, welcome. It's a real privilege to have you here. Sitting alongside Jan Erlacher, tell me, first of all, when you were here racing around the streets of Macau in Formula 3, did you ever imagine in your wildest dreams that you would now be fast-tracked here?
No.
X number of years later, sitting beside Jan as the winner of the title.
No, I was only 20, and for sure I was not thinking about that, for sure.
Tell us how you feel.
How I feel so much lighter. You know, the last 2 weeks has been really very difficult for us, for me, for Jan's father, for all the family, because we are a big family, and we are all connected. They are connected now also. But it's we are looking very much. We are looking for Macau, and we are full behind Jan, of course, and yeah, it's very difficult, nervously, because you want the best for your kid.
Yeah.
So, but I must say that Jan did a lot of sacrifice the whole year. He was full focus. He was never so better that this year, and he's getting better all the time, and he's incredible. He's incredible because he's so many sacrifices, I can tell you. So he's the champion.
Incredible result. He's beside you going, oh, mum, shush. Merci beaucoup.
No, he will always say, yeah, but you are my man, it's normal. No. I look also sometimes on my ex-driver eyes, and he impressed me every race, every laps. He impressed me because he's really, really strong.
Very special.
我總結一下，剛才艾拿卓嘅媽咪啦，佢有講到其實佢喺依家呢一刻咧，可以話係鬆一口氣嘅。其實喺過去嘅2個禮拜裏邊咧，佢都非常之緊張啦，等個仔緊張啦。咁其實但係又好期待可以嚟澳門參加比賽啦。咁佢好開心咧，艾拿卓可以做到呢個咁好嘅成績。咁佢就認為咧，艾拿卓其實佢覺得佢個仔喺過去嘅呢個賽季裏邊真係犧牲咗好多，成年咧都全程係專注喺比賽當中啦，不停咁樣做出更加好嘅成績，攞到更加好嘅成績，佢都非常之自豪嘅咁。
Any more questions from the audience?
現場開放提問。
Doje Daiga.